Shadow Beast? I whispered. For this, I was rewarded with a smile. At your service, pup. And today we are talking about the Shadow Beast Shifters series, series, but the first three books specifically by Jaymin Eve.
Yep. This is Jenn's episode. We loved the other series by Jaymin Eve so much that Jenn jumped into this one. And this is her pick.
Yeah.
So, synopsis. There are multiple books in the series, but the first three, the trilogy, are about the main couple.
Yep.
And then the following three are about like their friends and such. So, Gwen. No, that's not her name. That's the name of the current book we're reading. Hold on, don't tell me her name.
I remember now. Okay.
His name is Shadow. Her friend's name is Simone. Her other friend is Sam. There's Alistair, Len,
How are you forgetting
Lucius.
the best friend?
I,
My number one best friend.
there's Danny. There's Gastor, the Goblin, Angel.
There she is.
Oh, her. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant. I'm trying to figure out the main character. Then there's
Oh
Reese.
yeah, you haven't gotten there.
Her nickname is
You want to?
Sunshine.
Her nickname is Sunshine. Do you want to hint?
Hell, I can even remember Jackson, Torin, and who was the side piece chick? Cecilia? I can remember everybody's
Cicely.
name but hers.
It is a bit of a weird name, and it's not used a ton, so it starts with an M.
Oh, it's not Miranda. Mira.
Yes.
Jesus. Okay. So I went through the whole cast. You're
You
welcome.
did. I
Fuck.
think the only one you missed is, did you say Lucian and Lynn?
I did.
Did you say Galilee, or however you say his name? I think that's the only one you missed.
Who's
Was Galilee.
the
The one
dude that doesn't
speak.
talk. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
sorry, yeah. I fucking forgot about him. He's hardly on the page in any of the books.
Yeah, he is hardly on the page, but literally, I think you touched every other character.
Here's your sign, okay?
So that
So
tells me you did not hate this trilogy as much as I thought you did.
okay, we'll stick with that.
You hated it?
I didn't hate it, but I struggled. So
I knew you struggled more than you were letting on because you knew how much
I didn't. Every
loved it.
time I wanted to say something, I was like, "You can't text her, Misty. She asked you not to." I
Yeah.
think the first time I wanted to text you I was like 15% of the way in, like between like 15 and 20%. And I was like, you can't text her. Just keep going. Just keep going. Okay. Synopsis. So Mira is a shapeshifter in a pack. It's not urban fantasy because humans don't know about shapeshifters. The way that the pack works is you can't leave without the alpha's permission, which is a stupid rule. But Mira is on the outskirts of the pack because apparently her father attacked the alpha and tried to kill him. So the pack, being a pack, decides to take it out on her mom and her. So she loses her status. She loses her friends. They literally beat and torture her from the time she was. When did he die? When she was like in her teens? Like 10? Between 10 and 12.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It was like between 10 and 12.
So she's 21, about to be 22, because in this world, shifters don't get their wolf until they turn 22. And they can only shift with their alpha, which I didn't understand that, but okay, whatever. So anyways, she's on the outskirts. Right before she turns 22, she decides to finally run away. She'd been talking about running away after she shifted, but something like clicked in her head. She's like, why the fuck have I been torturing myself this whole entire time? Like, my mom doesn't care about me. The pack doesn't care about me. Simone's the only one who cares about me. This is the perfect time for me to leave. They're on a pack run. So she leaves and she's gone for a few months. This is one of the things I hate about small towns is if some stranger comes and asks about somebody, you do not fucking tell them where they live. I don't care how nice they are. If I have
Yeah.
never told you that I'm looking, somebody's going to come see me, you don't. Anyways, she's gone for a few weeks, few months, few weeks. I don't know. A short amount of time. More than 3 weeks, less than 6 months. Somewhere in between that.
Yeah, I think it was only like a handful of weeks. I
Yeah.
want to say it was around like 3-ish weeks.
Okay. And
I
somebody at
forgot
the
about that part.
job where she's waitressing's like, oh, yeah, she lives here, and just tells a complete stranger. So they ended up finding her. They bring her back in time for her to shift. She shifts. Well, in this world, the shifters, they have a shifter god, and his name is Shadow Beast, and he is the one who created shifters on Earth. You learn more about him and all of that stuff as the trilogy goes on. Well, during one of her beatings, something happens and her vision kind of shifts to where she essentially sees another plane. And what you learn later on is that she has opened up the shadow realm because there are multiple realms, the Solaris system realms, and shadow creatures have come out. Well, right after she shifts, she finds out that the alpha son is her mate, one of her tormentors. And she's like, fuck no. He rejects her. She's fine with it. She tries to run. They try to bring her back. He doesn't really force her, but he fucks another woman, Cece, in front of her. And she prays to her god. Oh, shit. She calls to her god, Shadow Beast. Well, guess what? Shadow Beast shows up and he kidnaps her, takes her to the Library of Knowledge. So because Mira can shift the planes and bring the shadow creatures from the shadow realm, Shadow Beast, who his name is Shadow, it gets kind of confusing. It's like, well, I need you to stay here to help me track them. That's a lie. What he really needs is for her to open the door to the shadow realm because it's been blocked for like 2,000 years, 1,000 years.
2,000 years, yeah.
Yeah. So because she's the only one who's ever been able to do that, he's tried, he can't do anything. So to quickly summarize this, Torin is her mate. There's a rejection. He can't let go. Does stupid shit. Jackson, her best friend, when she was younger, is upset that he's not her mate. Does stupid shit. We hate both of them. It's fine.
Yeah.
In the Library of Knowledge, she meets all these other amazing creatures and people. Angel, who's from the hollowed hollow gallows ground.
No, no.
It's
Honor
HG.
Meadows.
Honor Meadows.
No, it's
Sorry.
Honor Meadows. You're
HM.
close.
I was close. And then you have vampires and you have the goblins and you have all the things. What am I missing? Okay. So Mira's whole goal once she comes to library knowledge is to get the library. That's all she cares about is the library at this point. And of
Yeah.
course, fucking with Shadow because everybody's afraid of him because he's a god. And then he has 5 friends who are also gods. So you have Reese, Lucian, Len, Alistair, and Gallopy,
Gallo.
whatever. It's
Gal Galil Galil
Gallipy,
No, I
right?
think it's Glili.
Whatever.
Galleli. Galeli? Just something like that.
Galliope?
There's no P in it.
Oh. Gallows. I'll go back to Gallows then. And this is all happening in the first book. I just want to preface this. This is all happening
Yeah.
in the first book.
Yeah.
So it's her. Do I need to run away from the Shadow Beast? Should I stay? What's waiting for me back there besides Simone and Danny, who's like a surrogate mom to her? But what she's understanding is that there's something more to her. She's not just a shifter because she was able to look into the plane. Other things happen. Her powers manifest. There's this chemistry between her and Shadow. And she helps him track the beast. The shadow creatures. She bonds with the shadow creatures, which is super cute. They don't
It's
understand
so
why. They
cute.
listen to her. And then lots of tension and I don't think we're at the angst yet. Lots of tension, sexual tension,
Yeah. Yeah.
not misunderstanding, a lack of understanding tension. Because again, she doesn't know who she is. Shadow doesn't know who she is. Nobody knows who she is
Yeah.
or what
Nobody
she's
knows who
capable
she
of.
is.
So as she's helping round up the shadow creatures that are on Earth, because if they don't get them, they'll destroy Earth, Jackson and Torin, what you don't know is happening back on Earth, torture Danny to get a spell to get into the library knowledge to stop the Shadow Beast, from being able to come back to Earth and kidnapping Mira. And that's
Yeah.
how book 1
They take
ends.
her back. Yeah. They take her back to
Yeah, so that's book 1.
thinking they're, quote unquote, rescuing her. But at that point, she's like, no, I don't want to be with you, motherfuckers. Give me back to the Shadow Beast.
Yes.
Y'all suck.
So then book 2 is her playing along at first, trying to figure out how to get back, what they did. Then she needs to figure out what they did. And then she finds out that they killed Danny, and she fucking loses it. So in book
Yeah.
1, she doesn't have any control over powers because she doesn't know what they are, because they don't know what she is, and it's hard to understand. Well, her finding out that they killed Danny, she loses her mind, not only because Danny's dead, but because she thinks that Shadow Beast lied about Danny being dead.
Yeah.
And so she goes, I even have a quote on it. She goes straight from anger to what does it say? Hold on. I thought that was a funny quote. What does it say? Danny's death was so new that I should have been in stage 1, calm denial, but I appear to have skipped that altogether, and we were in stage 2, hurricane season. She flames up just like Shadow Beast does.
Yeah.
And her doing that breaks the veil, and he can come back through, and he's trying to calm her down. And then so he takes her back, explains that she's not dead, she's from his world, that she'll see her again, yada, yada, yada.
But he doesn't know who Danny is at this point either. He just recognizes her essence is from the
Yes.
Shadow Realm, but
Yes.
isn't real sure who she is, how she got there, all of that.
So they believe that because she flamed out to hurricane season, that she broke the spell on the door. Now there are hints and stuff that lead up to things that you find out later in this book, in like book 3. But so now it's like, okay, now we have to prep to go to the Shadow Realm, because Shadow Beast is the supreme ruler and he's supposed to take over, but he was betrayed and kicked out, which is why he's never been able to go back home. So now they're on this mission. So her and Angel and Shadow Beast
Shadow.
travel like fucking 50% of the book from the Library of Knowledge in his world before we get to his fated mate. But it's not really a fated mate. And this is part of what pissed me off. It was an arranged
Yeah, I knew
marriage
that
that
was
they
going to happen.
forced a connection, that they really didn't even have a connection. It was just like a promise ring, a promise connection,
Yeah.
but it's not real. It fucking irritating.
Well, and
Anyways,
in that realm, like they call it a true mate, but it has nothing to do with what the fates have designed for them to have. It just,
yes,
in that instance, it was a political move by their families,
yes,
which you don't find out until later.
I feel like you knew the whole entire time.
No,
They are
when
they are
Angel
assigned.
tells
Sorry, go.
when Angel tells Mira that Shadow has a mate, you're led to believe it's a true mate. It's a fated mate until it's revealed that it's just a fucking arranged marriage. I don't think at any point it was an arranged marriage until it comes out.
She asked Shadow, and Shadow says somebody was selected for me when I was born, and then we were going to consummate when we were 22, because that's when he takes over power.
Yeah.
At first, I will give you that, but when she confronts him, he tells her.
Yeah, but he still doesn't say it's an arranged marriage. It's I
Well,
don't know.
they
I mean,
never say it's an arranged marriage. It's just, that's the definition of arranged marriage. Your parents pick somebody for you to be with. They just don't call it that.
yeah.
It was selected to him at birth. He's not, unless they're fucking like super mature and stuff, and they're like, her. Ga, 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 ga. That's a baby. Like, I don't know. Like,
Oh my god. Oh, that's funny.
y'all can tell I don't like that part. Anywho, so they get sidetracked. You know what? We never found out what the fuck happened to his friend Kristoff, which just pisses me off too, but that's a whole other
You know
story.
what's funny? I thought about that like days after I finished the series. I think you were wrapping it up too. And I was like, whatever happened to Chris?
No idea. He just disappeared.
He did just
Anywho,
disappear.
yeah. So, anywho, where was I? I call her Xanax. It's Xana. I don't know how to say her name.
Ixana. Xana, something like that. But yeah, I prefer Xanax, and it was great.
So she kind of intercedes them, intercepts them before they
Yeah,
get to his
intercepts. Yeah,
not his dad's, to his home, castle, land, whatever.
he was
And
heading. He thought he was heading to his sister.
yeah. And lots of shenanigans happen, stupid stuff. Shadow hurts Mira's feelings. Mira hurts Shadow feelings. It's a whole thing. And Mira, this, for all intents and purposes, this is where she starts to irritate me. But she's not paying attention to the signs and her instincts. And they go to the center of the nexus because what they have found is that because she can command the shadow creatures, that if they go to the nexus, the home of the shadow creatures, they can capture more shadow creatures that they can use to fight Shadow Beast's family, because he thinks his family is the one that betrayed him.
Mhm.
Something that I left out is, in order for him to be able to take power, there's a specific stone that's assigned to him, and Xanax has stolen that stone. Well, you don't know that yet, but she has the stone and is using that to control everything. So they go to the nexus. She steals the shadow creatures because she's actually the bad guy, not the sister. What you don't know
Yeah,
is that this is where you learn out who Danny is. Danny is actually Shadow Beast's mom, and she's a phoenix, and she rises from the Nexus and tells them everything that happened, that because she's born of the Nexus, she was trying to save her creatures, and to do that, she married into the royals and was trying to make changes. So that's why Shadow Beast and Mira are connected, because, or have the similar powers, is because they both essentially come from the Nexus in some way. They're not related. Shadow Beast is Danny's biological child. Mira is a creation of the Nexus.
yeah,
So we have to make that distinction, because they freaked out about that for a minute or two. And there's a battle against Xanax, trying to save the creatures, trying to get back the throne. They win. Mira wants to send the creatures back home to the Nexus. They open up a portal. Shadow Beast can open up portals. I forgot to mention that. And she's sending them through, and then her dumbass decides to, I'm just going to step through really quick. So she steps through, and one of the side stories is that Len has been looking for his family stone because he's from the Fae. And what you don't know is that Xanax stole that stone, was using that stone to collect power. And in order for them to win, Danny swallowed that stone to take away Xanax's power. Well, because Danny is a phoenix, she rises from the Nexus again. And when Mira stepped through that portal, she was like, is Danny here? And Danny has been corrupt by the stone. And what Danny does is she decides, I have messed up the balance by having a son and by creating you, and the only way to fix it is to get rid of you. But she still has like less than a drop of humanity left in her. And she's like, but I care for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase your memories. I'm going to erase everybody's memories, and I'm going to send you back to the pack that beat you and tortured you your whole life. You have a fated mate there. He'll take good care of you now. He has potential. No, that motherfucker doesn't. And she gets sent back, and that's how book 2 ends. Book 3 starts with, apparently it's only been a few months. What we didn't know is in book 2, when Shadow Beast went to go rescue Mira after she'd been kidnapped is that he puts them in stasis. And time is different in the Library of Knowledge than it is on Earth, but he puts them in stasis. And so apparently they were in stasis for only a couple of months, but she's been gone for a whole year. So the timing kind of doesn't add up. And she doesn't have no memory, and she wakes up in Torin's bed. Nothing happens. But this was the point where I had to message Jenn. I could not help myself. And I was like, please tell me it doesn't take more than half of this book for her to either get her memory back or stop playing detective, because I'm not fucking reading this book if it is. Luckily, you were right. It was about 20 to 25% where she figures things out and she's no longer in the pack, because she's like, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't add. And her attitude or her personality is not one to let things go. So she ends up back in the Library of Knowledge. The good thing about it is the people who were in the Library of Knowledge were protected from the memory spell. The people who were outside were not, and Shadow Beast was outside, and so he doesn't remember her. But his beast knows that his mate is missing, and he fucking loses it and destroys the library. She has to bring him back, yada, yada, yada. They have to go to war against Danny to either pull the stone out of her or kill her.
Destroy Danny. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, they have to go back to the Shadow Realm. So same thing. They're going on a voyage. There's going to be a war. Blah 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 blah. What they decide to do is they decide to the gods, Angel, Lucian, Len, Alistair, Gallipay, and Shadow Beast all come together to essentially use their powers to create a fortress, a forge, to capture in, to either be able to pull out the stone or to weaken her enough to where she comes to her senses and rejects it. Well, they try it once or twice and it doesn't work. And on the third time, Mira touches the forge because she sees that she's trying to break out, which she was not familiar, and nobody told her not to touch it, because what it does is it drains you. And so what happens is because Mira is a shifter, no, a hybrid, the thing takes her wolf, essentially her shifter power, and that's what helps conceal her, but in doing so kills her. And in that moment also, something I forgot to mention is in book 1, Angel and Mira bonded. Angel created a family bond with Mira, and in trying to save Mira and also keep Danny captured in the fortress, Angel uses all of her power and they both die. But well, first Mira, then Danny, or first Mira, then Angel. Maybe not at the same battle, but sort of the same battle. This is
Yeah,
where
same
we
battle.
learn. This is where we learn that Mira is a phoenix as well, because she is reborn, but she no longer has the wolf shifter, but she is still a shifter because she's from the Nexus. And when Angel dies, she comes back. They think it's Danny. Oh yeah, she dies when they actually kill Danny because she uses the last of her power. And then they go back to the Nexus thinking that Danny's going to be reborn, because you have the choice to do that. Danny decides not to be reborn, but because there's a family bond between Angel and Mira, Angel is reborn, and now she is new. She's still kind of the same, but different. And that's how the book ends.
Pretty much.
So that's the synopsis of the 3 books. Now let's talk about the things that I hated. I hated that stupid fake bonding shit. Okay. I did not like that. I did not like that in the second book, all of these clues, Xanax has the power of illusion, and all of these clues that are coming to be like, oh, it's an illusion. Oh, it's an illusion. Oh, it's an illusion. And she's not fucking making the connections. When any other time she makes connections, except for in this point. It's irritating. And third, there did not fucking need to be 3 books. That's all I have to say. Now tell us all the great things that you love about it.
I picked up on the illusion aspect of things too. I was a little slower on picking it up, but I did have a moment. I'm like, oh, she's like this, crazy crafty person with the illusions and stuff. And then I think it was the last time she touched Mira. I was like,
Fucking pissed me off too.
But I think why it didn't bother me is you have all of the emotional upheaval. Like, you have Shadow, who is fighting the pull between him and Mira until he's not. But then he still thinks that he has to take this place in the Shadow Realm. And I think a lot slips by both of them because they're so caught up in their own emotional turmoil. So that's how I gave them a pass. But here's what I don't like about that is Shadow is this, what are they called, transcendent being, and I don't disagree that I feel like he was fooled too easily.
He wasn't fooled. He mentions like 2 or 3 times. It's like he's trying to tell Mira. He keeps on being like, "Oh, illusions? You're doing illusions? I don't think he was tricked at all. I think that he was aware, but he couldn't say anything to her about it, and he was trying to tell her. She does illusions. Don't believe everything you see or hear." He even says at one point, he's like, something doesn't feel right. I have to figure it out. Just trust me.
Yeah, but he didn't realize she was betraying him. That's what doesn't make sense to me.
No, I think he caught
Is
on to it. Because he was like
I disagree.
because he kept on being like, "Why do you have my stone? What are you doing with my stone? Like it doesn't make sense. Like tell me again how you got my stone?" Like he was very suspicious and he's like, "I need more. I need more. I need more proof."
I don't know.
That's how I interpret it when he kept on asking those questions and pushing, and he kept on being like, "Explain it to me again. Tell it to me." That's how I interpret it, is that he was questioning things. But he didn't wanna outright say anything in case he was wrong. That's why he didn't call her out.
That doesn't make sense for his personality, though.
I don't disagree with you on that.
So I
I just oh, that whole thing irritated me because they were both, like, not how Jaymin had written them previously, before and after. And maybe that's
yeah.
part of the illusion of Xanax's powers, right? Like, I don't know. But I'm like, you guys are acting out of character, and I don't understand. Mira, you've never ignored your instincts before. Why are you ignoring them now? And you
Well,
kind of
because
like,
she's in a brand new place that she has no idea how anything works. She barely understood the language until he installed the translator. This is all brand new to her. She has no experience in this stuff. And
that
she's
has never
fucking
stopped her
naive.
before. Oh,
Yeah,
well, I wasn't
but
going to call
she
her naive, but if you're going to
no,
call
I
her
mean it's
naive,
not. No, it's not a diss against her. She's a naive because she's never been there. She's never experienced it. She didn't know it existed 6 months ago.
but even with that, when she's in the library in the first book, she never ignores her instincts. Never.
Well,
When
again,
that
I
when that
think she's so caught up in how Shadow is acting and how she thinks she's losing him to Xanax. I think it clouded her judgment, and she didn't know how to listen to her instincts in a new place like that. Because when the only time she listens to her instincts is when she like loses her shit and shifts into her little fire wolf and almost dies. So that wasn't a great. Oh
starts.
my gosh. Yeah, so like the one time she leans into it, it ends up almost killing her, quite literally. They have no idea why she didn't die. And and then I think she was really clouded by what was happening between Shadow and Xanax because he until Xanax or like takes the creatures away, she doesn't know what Shadow's thinking as far as their relationship goes. She's just like, well, we're just going to steal what time we have left, and we'll part ways eventually.
I find this very fascinating. I think this is the focal of why I love reading books and talking about it, because everybody has a different perspective, even though we read the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Because in my mind, at that point, after he fucks her in the bathroom or whatever, he's like, "You are mine. That is not changing. But I need you to stick this out because I have to figure out what the fuck happened and who betrayed me. That was like his declaration to her, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but he doesn't do anything to back that up. He's still following Xanax. He's still leaning into what little relationship they have to get what he wants out of it. And she's been betrayed her entire life. He doesn't have any leg to stand on
Okay.
in
I
a
will give you that she
declaration.
has been betrayed her whole life. But again, I really, really think we need to reread this whole section together.
No, I'm good.
I will give you
Thanks though.
at first I will give you that at first. Yes. But when he starts to call her sunshine and doesn't look at Xanax when she does things, and he keeps eye contact and he's focused on her, and he's like, we're following her lead. If she doesn't want to capture the beast, we're not capturing them or the creatures. Like, I think there are subtle signs. I think they're subtle.
Yeah, I again, I don't disagree with that at all. I don't think it was enough for Mira to feel confident in just trusting him outright. He does.
No, you're right. You're right. Because of the betrayal, because of her history, because there
Yeah,
was an
I just
end date. Like, I get it. I get it. I get it.
yeah. So,
It was still
but I don't
in the
disagree. I think the continuation of like her being touched, Xanax stealing the creatures, I think it could certainly have been created. I think that storyline could have been stronger because I do agree that that as all powerful and whatever as Shadow is, that he should have been able to determine what was happening a lot sooner and protect Mira from the consequences that happened.
yeah.
That I don't disagree with at all.
Yeah. But I will say once we got into the library, when they're in the library of knowledge, those were my favorite scenes.
Yeah.
I loved everything in the library once she got there. The reason why I was, even thought about messaging you that 10 to 15% is like, okay, I get it. I don't need 10 chapters of her being sad and being abused by her pack. Like, when are we going to get to the story part? I just felt like, but once we got past that and then we got in the library and her humor, oh my gosh. The way
Yeah.
that she
I mean,
looks at things is hilarious.
yeah, that's I loved her character from the
Yeah.
get-go. I
And
loved her wit, her oh,
she
I forgot I was wearing mascara.
she doesn't take no shit from him. She's like,
Yeah.
"And you're the Shadow Beast, you kidnapped me. This is how it's gonna be, okay? You have to take my sass while I'm secretly trying to steal the library out from under you."
Yeah.
It was funny. It was
Yeah.
funny.
She comes into the library and just completely knocks the balance off because she befriends Angel, who no one wanted to speak to or talk to or interact with for years,
2,000 years.
eons. Yeah, like
Longer than
thousands of
2,000
years.
years. 'Cause she's
Yeah.
older than
And
Shadow, I think,
yeah, I think so. Or
or close. They're
um
about the same age, if not older.
yeah. And then Mira just plops down next to Angel and tries to start up a conversation, and Angel's so taken aback. She's like, she leaves like the first couple of times it happens. And I don't know, that honestly, like the Angel and Mira relationship is probably my favorite out of the entire trilogy. Like,
Mhm.
I just,
I
they were
agree.
my light and fluffy moment. Like, the way they saved each other and how, in a roundabout way, Mira helped heal so many of the wounds that Angel had experienced. and allowing Angel to have as fresh of a start as you can as a millennia old being with incredible trauma and awfulness that happened in their life. I'm clearly very eloquent this morning. That honestly was probably my favorite part of the series, was their relationship and how it developed, and them and Inky and Midnight.
Oh my God, I totally forgot about Inky and Midnight. I love them so
I
much.
loved them.
Yes,
Yeah,
they were
and
great.
I can't remember when she got Midnight, but I loved Midnight. I loved that she got her own
The end of book
whatever.
1 or in
The
when she
beginning of
comes
book
to book 2,
2.
yeah. You know
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
I think
beginning of
it's
book
the
2.
beginning of book 2 because Midnight touches her when she opens the Shadow Realm. He's like, "You can't, you have to send them back." Yeah, so it's the beginning of book 2.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't disagree with the plot holes, if you want to call them that. I loved Mira's character.
Yes.
She is one of my probably at least top 10. I would have to really think about it to give her like a fair ranking. But at no point was she stupid.
Yep.
At no point was she, I mean, even when she was emotional, and do not come for me, I am all for, we are allowed to be emotional beings. We have emotions. Fuck right off if you think emotions aren't okay. But what I really loved is whenever she was extremely emotional, when she was super triggered, I hate that word, but I don't have a better one. Like, she didn't stomp off and run away and, you know, be a sad sack about it. She was like, oh, hell no. And like set fire to this meeting that was happening. Or, you know, she kept picking it at when she lost her memories. Instead of being a sad sack about it, she was picking at every single thread she could to figure out what happened. You
Yeah.
know, so like, she was one of the strongest but also fucking funniest characters I think I have ever read.
Yes. And I want to just pick up on that. Not once did she lie. She was never like, "Oh, I'm fine," when she's
Yeah,
really not. She's like, "No, I'm fucking pissed," or "I'm sad," or "You
yeah,
were, a douche canoe and you just have to deal with the consequences of making me feel this way." She owned
yeah.
up to it.
She
She
was,
never hid from it or lied about it.
yeah, she was really true to herself from the get-go. And that's just something that I really, really like. And she was just so funny. Like, she's just funny. I can't tell you how many highlights I have in these 3 books of her just saying the I mean, she's standing here looking at Shadow's like 5 best friends in all of the worlds, and they're all gods in their own right. And she comes sashaying in with all this attitude, and she's like, I guess I'm one of the 6 now.
Let me tell you
Where's
how
her?
disappointed I was in that moment when you told me it wasn't a reverse harem. Okay.
Reverse harem? Yeah, I know.
I was like,
I know.
and that's probably why I was so down afterwards, because it was like, okay, we're at a steady slow pace, and then we get to library that's very exciting, that library
Yeah.
of knowledge, it shoots up, and then we have all 6 of these dudes in the same room, and then it really shot up because they're all checking her out and flirting, and I text Jen immediately.
Yeah.
I'm like, is this a reverse harem? Because I love this series if it is. And then she said no, and so I kind of like plateaued after that.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah. Okay, so here's one thing that I did not care for because I feel like it weakened the story in the 3rd book. I don't understand Sam. I feel like that, and I mean, obviously, like, she has her own book and it ends up somehow getting tied in, but I really, really, really did not like that little storyline, because in my opinion, it didn't make any fucking sense. You have this random new shifter in the pack who all of the sudden comes out of the woodwork to help Mira,
Mira.
and that's how she gets back to the Library of Knowledge, which is all great, fine, and dandy. But you're talking about somebody who doesn't understand what's happening, who's lost her memories, who doesn't trust anybody. And then this newcomer comes along and she's like, hey, I have something to show you. And then Marina's like, yeah, let's just, go to this abandoned building in the middle of nowhere by myself with this person I don't know. That bothered the shit out of me. And I really thought initially when we met Sam that she was going to end up being either from the Library of Knowledge and was sent to get her because she was able to manipulate the world somehow, or she was working for the pack and was going to actually like cause more issues. So maybe we would get more answers in her book, but that was a sticking point that I felt was pretty weak in the third book. I feel like that could have been done better. Like I like when Torin comes to Mira's apartment and he's starting to force himself on her and she has the power to send him away. Like, I feel like something could have happened in the pack, especially with the history of the pack, where it triggered her to touch this shadow realm again or to open a path, a portal or something, and she get back to the Library of Knowledge that way, and then she runs into our little goblin friend, and then things kind of go from there. So that if I had to pick something that bothered me, that bothered me way more than the Xanax issues.
So the invisible chastity belt was fucking hilarious. I can't believe he did that to her.
Oh my God, that was so funny.
But not to go on a tangent from yours, I just think the whole book 3 was a waste of space. Like, you're essentially repeating book 2. It's just a different bad guy. That's literally what it is. We have to go back through the shadow realm to find Danny to stop her because she's trying to create a nexus, just like Xanax was trying to create a nexus of power because they think that they know best for everybody. What should have happened? We're gonna play the what should have. Is that at the end of book 2, when Danny swallowed the stone and she became corrupt, her and Xanax should have started working together. And then the way that they were going to win was to erase Mira's memory and to send her back because, like, you're influencing my mate, my son. Well, we're going to get rid of you and we're going to bring him to our side. And then you have a
Yeah.
big battle in the third book to where Mira takes out Danny and she dies and is reincarnated. And then when they try and take out Xanax, because now that she doesn't have the stones or whatever, Angel dies and then is reincarnated and then everything is good. I think that would have been
Yeah.
better. Or just only have 2 books.
I feel like either or. I didn't mind it being 3 books. I think sometimes I see your point, because I think there are times where authors develop another, plot to continue the
Yeah.
story and that kind of thing.
And normally I'm okay with that, but it was literally recycled. It was the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt you.
No, I don't necessarily disagree with that assessment. I do think it probably could have been 2 books. I don't like that we spent as much time with the pack as we
Yes.
did, because I feel like in any of the books, honestly, like,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So I think I don't think this series obviously was as strong as Shifter Cities. This is one of her older series, so I think obviously Shifter Cities came later. She learns, she becomes a better writer, blah blah blah. But I think the characters that she created, I would pick these characters over Shifter City characters. I love them. Don't get me wrong. I think
That's
they're fantastic.
interesting.
But there is some, especially Mira and Angel. Like, I would hate those two. Like, I just about wanted them to have a love story. Like, just give me some sapphic romance here, please, because my God, I love them. But I just loved the womanhood story that came from this series. Like, I think they healed parts of each other that needed to be healed. I love that Angel gets her Triosora again in this found family. Like, found family will always choke me up. And I think for that trope, I don't think it got any better than the found family trope that happened in this series.
Yes. You really need to read Angel's book. We get a lot more history.
I'm so. Oh, have you already finished it? Oh, you
Yeah.
did already finish it.
Do we want to jump onto ratings?
Sure.
Or is there anything else we need to talk about?
I don't think so. I think we covered. So, what did you like? That's what I would. What did you like about? Was there any aspect of it that you enjoyed?
I did like Angel and Mira's connection. I liked the library. I love Inky and Midnight.
Ugh, the
I even
library
like
is
Gaster. I like
great.
everything that has to do with the library.
Yeah, the library was phenomenal.
Everything
Well
to do
done
with
on
the
the
library.
library.
And the fact that she liked to push Shadow Beast buttons. She
Yeah,
just liked to irritate him on purpose. And she's like, this is my library now, dude. I don't know what to tell you, okay? I know you created this
I
2,000 years ago, but once I stepped through the door, it became mine.
It's mine now. Yeah. No,
That
I loved the library. I did love Shadow. I know we didn't really talk about it a whole lot, but I did love Shadow and Mira's relationship.
Oh,
Like, you have
absolutely.
you have this like millennia old supreme being who, is supposed to have all of these powers, and he's done all of this stuff. And
And
then
he's
you have this spicy, sassy 22-year-old who is like giving him the what for at every turn.
and he's
It's just
baffled by, like, you know who I am, right? And she's like, well, yeah, duh. He's like, and you're not scared of me? She's like,
I'm
no, of course I'm scared of you, you dumbass.
just not going to let it affect me.
Yeah. And I also think another great part was seeing his friends react to how she treated him.
Yes.
Like, she didn't let it make him any different. He's just another person, I say in quotations, right? Like, just another shifter.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't affect how she spoke to him and connect. She's like, no, I'm going to connect with you like I do with everybody else. And even though you're fighting the connection, you're going to lose, buddy. You're going to lose
Yeah.
because I'm me and you're you. And this is just how it's going to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I loved it. I feel like the characters made this story. Whereas, like, you have the story that makes the story and you love the
mhm,
characters. Whereas in this series, I loved the characters so much that I was just along for the ride.
gotcha. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Ready to rate?
darkness. Yeah. Darkness.
1,
Yeah.
2, maybe, just because of how
Abuse.
brutal. Yeah. Yeah.
I would say
And
two.
yeah.
It's really not on page, though.
No, it's really not. Not a whole lot anyway.
I would say, we'll say two.
Okay.
Because I don't know what our scale says, and two feels about right if we both said two. So let's
Yeah,
not. We
works for
both.
me.
That was our first instinct. So spicy.
3.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3.
It's not super kinky. It's not. Oh well, I don't know. He
The
gets kind of kinky.
well, the fact that he refuses or they never make it to the bed is kind of
Yeah.
the first time when
Personally,
he
I
just eats her
like
out all
pins her to the
night.
wall.
Oh, yeah, that
Oh my
too.
god, I forgot about that.
The
No, my
whole
favorite,
night.
the whole night. My favorite was definitely the wall at Kristoff's house. That was,
Yes.
whew,
So 4?
yep, that was good. No, I still think we're at a
Still say
3
3?
because
Okay.
we don't have any group scenes. There's not a ton of like there's not like kink,
Kink, kink.
and like
That's gonna
you
be a
really
sticker.
don't get into kink.
What's your kink kink? Sorry,
Excuse me.
sorry. I distracted you. I wasn't trying to.
I think the volume doesn't really happen until like book 2 and 3, so I think it's safe to give it a 3.
Okay. Content? 3.
Okay.
No? A
I
2?
think I think you made some really really good points, and I feel like if the characters weren't as strong and incredible as they are, I think we would rank the content a 2. But I would be okay saying 3 because the character development,
That's
the
why I say 3 is the
characters.
characters. The
Okay, then
world
I'm
even
good with
is really good.
the world. Yeah, the
Everything
magic.
but the story. That is the
Yeah,
only part. So if we're doing writing and plot and story,
yeah. Yeah, no, I like that. I think a 3. I like that because
okay.
everything but the like story is so strong.
Right? Oh my gosh. I think this is the first time that's ever happened in anything that we read that I can remember at
I
this
think
moment.
so.
Where it's
Yeah,
everything but the story, and normally like it's everything opposite. It's the story and
yeah,
everything else
yeah.
is
Like the
crap.
story was great, but we hated the
So,
character or whatever.
and then overall,
Love it. I'm giving it a 4.
I'm giving it a 3.
I'm kind of surprised you gave it a 3. I burned through this series
Yes, you did.
in like a few days. So for
Yes.
somebody
Took
who
me like
does
a
not
week.
yeah, like for somebody who does not read books as much anymore, I listen to probably 80% or more. The fact that this captured my like I had a hard time like I had to block my Kindle app on my phone because I wouldn't stop reading.
I love that.
And like these characters are some of the top characters I have ever read. The only characters that I think outside of like this series I talk about, the series, multiple series that I talk about on the regular, the only other characters that I think about in like characters that were really well developed, that were like side characters, and like the story was fun, but the characters are what make it, is the spell shop. Like those characters, her and the plant, were fantastic. Like that the whole cast was great.
That's on my
And this,
list to read for book tournament.
oh my gosh, it's such a the characters make that story. And I think this is the same here. I think the characters made this story too.
Yeah. I give it a 3 because it was there. There were some things I didn't like about it, but I mean, it was good. I'll recommend Shifter City series first before I recommend
Yeah.
this. But if
Yeah, fair.
you're looking for something and you like Jaymin Eve's, right? No, that's a lie. I would not recommend this first. I don't know if I would recommend it at all because I would want them to read the Shifter City series first. I guess if you don't like reverse
Yeah,
harem, you could read this. But yeah, I mean a 3.
true.
Like it wasn't bad, it wasn't good, but I mean I read all of them and then I even read Angel and Reese's book. So like
I'm so excited to read their book.
okay. That's all I got.
Alrighty. Let us know, have you read any series by Jaymin Eve? We would love to hear from you. What series has been your favorite of hers? And tag us on Instagram at Bones of the Story. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining us on the journey into the shadows of love, where dark romance stories come to light.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Bones of the Story as much as we did. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. Your feedback means the world to us.
And to stay updated on all things dark romance, follow us on social media. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
We'd also love to hear from you. Share your thoughts, ideas, or even your own dark romance stories with us. Drop us a line at bonesofthestory@gmail.com.
Remember, our next tantalizing episode is just around the corner, so keep your hearts open and your senses sharp.
Until then, embrace the darkness and let the stories continue to stir your deepest desires.
This is Misty
And Jen,
signing off
from Bones of the Story.